The Part Singers have released a recording of the Requiem by Gabriel Fauré, made during the COVID epidemic when no singers could meet. I'm talking with Roshan Reynolds, who was the conductor for the piece. Roshan, the project's taken nearly 3 months, I would think, well over 2 months anyway. It has been worth it in terms of the quality of sound, but how on earth did you get 18 different contributors to come together?
Well, we've had some volunteers. It's been really hard. We started off with our core group of 8 singers, and then we've gradually drawn other people in. And it's been a really, it's been the kind of process where we've learned a lot as we've gone along. So I suppose we started normally thinking about interpretation as a conductor, and then communicating that to my accompanist. And then the accompanist would send me a version of how he thought I wanted things to sound, so where to pause, what kind of tempo, what kind of dynamics, and then I would quite often send that back 2 or 3 times to try and get it absolutely perfect, because this is where it goes completely upside down to normal live music, in that once I've got that accompaniment, that's pretty much it. Before anybody's sung a note, that's our performance kind of almost set in stone, really. So that has to be right. And then it gets even weirder, because I have to then memorize that accompaniment track. I have to memorize everything about it, every little pause, every little kind of quirk of the player. I've been very lucky having both my brothers doing accompaniment for me, both very talented musicians through the Fauré. And then when I've got that completely memorized, only then can I conduct it to a video and then send that out to the singers. For coordinating the singers, we've used WhatsApp groups. WhatsApp's just been an absolute dream for communication. And it's been really good for kind of feedback as well. So we've done things like, because people, I think when you're singing with a group of people in a choral society, you're not aware of how much you pick up from everybody else around you. So it's not just the sound that you hear from around you, it's things like other people's facial expressions, or just their body movements when they prepare their score to sing, or when they take a breath in, and you're influenced by all those things all the time, and you're constantly unconsciously blending your voice, your dynamics, your tone, everything, and the notes you sing to some extent, to the people around you. And our singers have had none of that at all. So we've kind of tried to encourage feedback by sending some really early edits around and getting them to listen and think, if they were the choral director, what would they do differently? What would they ask of their chorus? And they've come back with things like better blending, better phrase endings, things like that. So it's just been a massive, massive learning process for all of us. And that's kind of where getting that good homogenized sound of 18 people started. So kind of way before anybody sings a note, lots of other things have had to go into it first.
I think you've kind of answered half of this question, but you had to work quite closely with Eleanor Cully, who was doing the audio production. I've been talking to her about how she managed the same thing, and all that production happens after the recordings have been laid down, and as you said, after the accompaniment. In fact, we're accompanying the accompaniment, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, how is that to the two of you've worked together, but how has that changed how you prepared the music as the project went through? Because I know you did learn as time went by.
Definitely, we've both learnt so much, and we've learnt together, we barely knew each other before this, really, and we've developed an amazing relationship, kind of can speak to each other almost in shorthand now, and know and anticipate what each other wants. Eleanor's a complete perfectionist. She's had such patience talking everyone through all their tech and getting that side of things perfect. And things that we've learned are sort of, I suppose, like around, at the very beginning, I was, for example, wanting a really broad range of dynamics, as you would in a live performance, but we've worked out, and Eleanor's explained over time, that doesn't work for performance. So we've had to narrow that down. Just all sorts of examples like that, really. And we jointly decide retakes, and that's not always just based on whether the notes are right and the timing's right or not. It's sometimes based on other kind of atmospheric things that will make the singers all fit in together with each other. So yeah, it's been a vast learning process for both of us.
I know you've made me retake on at least one occasion.
We all have.
So how have the singers responded to these new disciplines?
Absolutely. As a group now, comparing some of our early edits to some of our later ones, as a group, we are so much more homogenized in a way that you wouldn't think was possible from our own different living rooms around Yorkshire and Bath and Bristol. But also, I have the privilege of hearing everybody's individual takes come in and listening to them very, very closely, you know, several times. And I would say that without exception, everybody's technique and everybody's voice is so much better than at the start. And I would say that's probably true of my own as well. And I think it's partly due to, well, maybe for regular singing, I don't know, but definitely due to honing those listening skills. And it's ironic that that's happened away from all the other singers that you're meant to be listening to, rather than it happening in a kind of choral environment. But we've all done it, yeah, huge, huge improvements from everybody.
Well, now the project's complete, and it was really 7 different projects, wasn't it? One after the other, 7 movements. But that is a whole project, and you set out before movement 1 to do it in a particular way. What will you now do differently as we go forward and we do similar projects, as I know you have in mind?
I think the thing I definitely do is more pre-learning, so send out more videos and recordings that will help people learn their parts, because what I found, and again personally as a singer in the group, is that no matter how well you think you know a piece, you don't know it as well as you think you do when you're completely exposed and doing it alone. That would probably be my biggest learning from the music side of things.
It's been a big commitment on your time. Has it been worth it?
Oh, definitely, just without doubt. It's a dream come true, and it's a dream that may never have happened if we hadn't been locked down. I don't know. It's taught me so much about myself. It's taught me so much about how different people work and how they respond to praise or constructive criticism. Seeing it come together has been incredible. With the videos as well that you've done, have just brought such a different not perspective, a different element to the music as well. And I think as a choir, we formed such a supportive group now through WhatsApp messaging, and I think we're closer in our relationships than we were when we met fortnightly and sang together in each other's living rooms. So yeah, it's just been amazing.